Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new video. Things are progressing quite well. I'm certainly not at 100% yet, but you see here from the warm-ups, I'm able to do a little bit of snatch work at the bar, and then you'll see after the muscle snatches I was able to do some regular snatches, and one where I go all the way to the bottom, and there really wasn't too much discomfort with really much of anything that I was doing. In fact, as I got heavier with these muscle snatches, my positions actually felt better. As I was warming up or with the lighter sets, my hip was a little bit achy, but nothing that progressed. And like I said, it got better as I trained, which means that the rehab stuff I'm doing, the mobility stuff that I'm doing, the massage and all that good stuff is helping. I don't think I mentioned that in the last video, but anytime I really can't train, like when my hip is like this, or the few times where, there's something that's really limiting, I just sit and just do all of them at the mobility and massage stuff because I have nothing else to do. So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm thankfully able to recover relatively quickly from an injury or some sort of setback. But I'm trying to be very cautious because like when these were feeling okay and like here I went all the way down, I was like, oh, I could do some snatches. But I was like, I'm going to do muscle snatches. I'm going to just warm up and just do muscle snatches because I'm trying to look at like the previous day where I did, no movement like this, where I'm like sitting in a squat like this, and I tried to pull like a snatch pull 70 kilos, and that was pretty painful. And then you'll see today, I was doing quite a bit of work. So kind of want to progress back up, and then eventually, get back to normal training. But I was trying to modify my pull a little bit, just like my starting position, but I ended up on the very last set that I did, going back to kind of just the old dynamic start. I think I'm just too deep into training to really make any substantial changes to the dynamic start. I'm with it for better or for worse. I've used the high hip dynamic start for every pull that I've ever done since I've started doing deadlifts back when I was 20 or 21, when I was like powerlifting or like started deadlifting and squatting and stuff. First deadlift I ever did, dynamic start, like same high hips. So it's been quite a while. That's almost 10 years at this point. So 9-10 years of pulls with a dynamic start. And I just never spent the time to get a static start. And honestly, I feel like you get more power with it. It's probably just less consistent. But, it just feels so much better to have a dynamic start than to have a static one. And I always feel like I just get so much more velocity on the bar. But it's also just a comfortability thing. Because I've done it for so long. But see here, I'm doing some of the pressing again from behind the neck. Not really, thankfully I'm not like too concerned about the pressing because I'm able to go down and do a regular muscle snatch. But I still wanted to do some today, and like I mentioned, these were a little achy, but as I was building up, they were starting to feel better and better. And this is the 70 kilos that yesterday was very painful. Today I was able to do a muscle snatch with it without any issue, which is good. Obviously, that's progress back to normalcy, and that's really just the goal right now, is just to get back to normal training. And it shouldn't be too long, but I'm just trying to be more cautious because I don't want to just keep trying to go back to normal training and keep re-aggravating things. I want to have a smooth process, and honestly, this will kind of serve as a bit of a deload for my body as a whole, even though I'm still training and doing stuff. It's relatively lighter besides this here. I basically just pressed that above my head, but I missed the previous one and kind of got it to that sticking point and just kind of grinded through it. And this is a set of 3 snatches. I did 2 powers and then the full one. It's really light, 52 kilos, nothing to write home about, but just going through the full range of motion, pretty much pain-free. I think on the full one there wasn't any discomfort, which is good. But this kind of training will serve as a deload for my body in general, for like my shoulders and wrists and stuff. So it's not necessarily even that bad to have something like this happen, because the rest of my body gets a break from intense heavy lifting, and really like everything, like my knees and everything, you just get a break and just kind of get to build back, hopefully better from where I was before, but just to get back to being normal and healthy. And it should be a pretty quick process based on the progress I made from yesterday and today. I've been doing a lot of stretching as well. The favorite one that I've been liking has been the lying hamstring stretch, the basic one, and then where you have your leg in that position above, like you're doing the lying hamstring stretch, and then you cross it over your body. I feel like it literally feels like a good stretch on my hip in that IT band area, which feels good. So I've been doing that. And then on the opposite side, so you lay on your belly and you have the band on your feet. I can reach my feet and like pull and stretch my quads that way. But with a band, I feel like I get a lot more of a deeper stretch because I can really kind of relax my body into it, into the stretch, which I always feel like is one of the nice things with stretching, is that you can kind of almost relax your body into a stretch and not, actively trying to flex your body into a deeper position, but trying to relax it into there. And I think that helps a lot because a lot of lifting is just being tense and, getting into positions through just being aggressive. And there I missed that press. I was just too tired, not too worried about it. I was more happy that I was able to do the muscle clean there. And then you see here, I did 2 powers and then a couple of jerks. I wasn't happy with the first jerk, so I was planning on just doing 2, but I did 3. But I mean, it's 61 kilos. But the jerks are probably the most painful thing right now. That like quarter squat position wasn't the most comfortable, but like I mentioned with everything else, nothing really got worse. But that will be kind of a good measure if they start to feel better, like the dip of the jerk, then I'll know like training will be pretty much back to normal, because the clean felt good, snatches felt good, just getting the jerk back to being normal. But hopefully probably for the end of this week, or by the end of this week, I'll be back to just normalish training and just be back to building and trying to get up to those big numbers again. But for now, just trying to get healthy and trying to be smart about it and not trying to push too hard, so I'm not constantly having setbacks. But like I mentioned, it's kind of a blessing in disguise because it kind of acts like a deload, and my whole rest of my body that's not injured gets a rest. And I suppose you kind of have to take that positive mindset, otherwise you just get too depressed about lifting if you're hurt and you don't think anything is progressing. And it's nice to kind of day to day have a little bit of progress, and not just the weights that I'm lifting, but in the positions and the pain that I'm experiencing, or the lack thereof. So a good day of training, a good little progress. I'm just going to keep hammering the mobility and trying to get a little bit healthier every day, and hopefully sooner rather than later be back to normal, which based on my past, I should be all right. I usually recover pretty fast from injuries. Thankfully, I have that going for me. But anywho, that's it for this one. I'll talk to you on the next video. Have a great day. Peace.